Hello everyone, we are discussing about the poem The Lotus Eaters written by the great poet A.L. Tennyson. In previous video we have discussed uh, three stanzas of the poem. Let us start the fourth stanza. Branches they bore of that enchanted stem, laden with flower and fruit, whereof they gave to each. But whose did receive of them, and taste to him the gushing of the wave, far, far away did seem to mourn and rave. In these lines, the speaker continues his narrative by describing the lotus fruit which the lotus eaters brought to the sailors, and they all had branches that bore that enchanted stem. The branches were filled with fruits and flowers of lotus plant, which the lotus eaters shared with each man from the ship. After eating from the plant, the men were overcome. What they tasted came onto the men like the gushing of wave, and made their problem seem very distant. O alien shores, if his fellow spake, his voice was thin as voices from the grave, and deep asleep he seemed, yet all awake, and music in his ears his beating heart did make. Each man became extraordinary tired, and their voices sounded like those of dead men coming from the grave. They were all still awake, but only in a semi conscious state. It was if they were both asleep and awake at the same time. The fruit had some kind of magical effect on the men and cast a spell upon their intentions. Each became consumed solely with their own self. The only thing they could hear was the beating of their own hearts. They sat them down upon the yellow sand, between the sun and moon upon the shore. And sweet it was to dream of fatherland, of child and wife and slave, but evermore most weary seemed the sea, weary the oar. In this last stanza, before the second half of the poem, the men confess to a new desire. They sat themselves down upon the yellow sand at the shore of the land. Their thoughts were cast to fatherland, their home, their children, their wife, their slave also, and all that was waiting for them there. They dreamed of children, wife, slave, and they left behind. But their desire for home was now deeply overweight by their weariness. Weary the wandering fields of barren foam, then someone said, "We will return no more." And all at once they sang, "Our island home is far beyond the way we will no longer roam." They are so much exhausted and tired after eating the lotus fruit of plant, that they no longer felt that they had the energy and need to return to the ship and face the ocean once more. The men were more than content to remain with the lotus eaters for the rest of their lives, and they sing song that we will not return at their home. They wanted to live the Lotus Eater Island forever in their lives. Choric song. There is sweet music here that softer falls than petals from blown roses on the grass, or nighty dew on still water between walls of shadowy granite in a gleaming pass. Music that gentler on the spirit lies than tired eyelids upon tired eyes. The second half of this poem is made up of 8 stanzas. These stanzas act as a choric song. In them, Odious crew describes the safety and comfort of the land of lotus eaters and the lake of desire they feel to return home. In first of 3 stanzas, the men begin by stating that this island is full of music that falls softly. Its sound resembles the petals of roses blowing onto the grass, or perhaps it resembles night dews that softly collect on still waters. They continue piling up metaphors and state that it is gentler than the feeling of closing one's eyes when one is tired. It brings joy to them that's like sweet sleep falling down from the blissful skies. Music that brings sweet sleep down from the blissful skies. Here are cool mosses deep, and through the moss the ivy creep, and in the stream the long-leaved flowers beep, and from the craggy lace the poppy hangs in sleep. They have everything they could want on the island. The earth is made from cool mosses and is bound with ivies. This beautiful unity of plants is complen- complemented by streams that hold flowers, and the craggy lake with plain no host to poppies. The world around them resembles their own interior feelings. They see, they are seeing their own inner peace reflected in plant, streams, and one another. So, this is the second video of this poem. I hope you understand the poem. Thank you so much.